All right. Hello, hello, hello. I believe I am live. We're going to double check and make sure. Welcome, everybody, to today's call. Our live here on Facebook. There we go. We are live. Awesome. Welcome to today's live. Today I am doing Ask Me Anything Q&A. Any question that you have about your business and about growing your business specifically online. Let me adjust this. Specifically about growing your business online. That is what I am here for. That's what I do every day, all day with my Handmade Sellers Club members and here on the Facebook page and on YouTube as well. We're trying to make selling online faster, easier, and low tech. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to be answering your questions and, anything that you feel that you're stuck on, drop those questions in the comments below. Now, while I am doing this Q&A today, there are several times, I'm sure, I don't know what your questions are yet, but I know that it's going to come up where I'm going to talk about training that I have in Handmade Sellers Clubs. So Handmade Sellers Club is my monthly membership program that I created for handmade sellers just like you who want the fast, easy way to start making sales online. I do that through my super seller system. And the super seller system is designed to help you use Facebook and use a low tech option like Facebook to actually build an audience of people who want to buy the product that you have, how to find them, how to get them to like your page, how to get them to engage with your content, and even more importantly, how to get them to buy, right? We want not just people liking our posts, we want people actually shelling out money and buying our products. So we teach you exactly how to do that in the super seller system. The only way to get the super seller system is if you become a Handmade Sellers Club member and you get all the other perks of being a member. You get the community, you get the you get the community, you get all the other trainings that we have on pricing and Instagram, on how to build a website. We do monthly challenges. We do weekly calls to help you actually grow and build your business online so you can build the business of your dreams. It's actually paying the bills and helping you go on vacation and, helping your husband retire early, whatever it is, whatever goal you have in your business. It is my business to help you get there, right? That is my passion and that is my purpose here. I get so excited when people succeed and they actually go from like, oh my gosh, I post every day and nothing is happening. And then all of a sudden, to, oh my goodness, I'm getting so many orders. I could never believe that this was going to happen to me. So that's my goal, to help you get there quickly and easily in the most low tech way possible. So I'm going to drop a link to Handmade Sellers Club in the comments. You can get a 2-week trial for only $7. Let's see, that should show up there. Let's make sure that comments are showing up. You can get a 2-week trial for just $7 and give it a try. Come on in, try out the Prompts for Profits calendar, etc., etc. So thank you, Michelle. Michelle said she shared the live. I really appreciate that. The more people that can get this kind of help for their business, the better. We're in a day and age where, working a job, getting a job can be difficult. Working a job can be very difficult. We tend to be underappreciated and underpaid. And we all have this creative side to us, right? That we really want to express and be able to do that in a way that helps supplement our income or completely replaces our income so we can actually live the life of our dreams. And so as many people as you can invite to come watch these lives, that makes me super excited because I love, love, love changing lives. So with all of that said, let's see. We've got Brian said I made $28,000 online last year with my cribbage boards, $57,000 total since I did do a couple of festivals a year. So Brian is a Handmade Sellers Club member. He started with my super seller system years ago. And Brian, what is that compared to where you were before we met? How much did you do in online sales before we met? I would love for you to comment with that below. That being said, I don't want this to be all about Handmade Sellers Club. Obviously, I want you to give Handmade Sellers Club a try, but I will be talking about it a lot during this this Q&A session because sometimes the answer is, hey, I have a full training on how to do that. Excuse me. So I want you to be aware of it. There is a link to get a 2-week trial for just $7. Okay, so let's jump into it. I have a few questions from the last time that I did this Q&A call. And so I'm going, people that asked the question afterwards, I marked down their questions and I wanted to come back to them. And so I'm going to start with those and then we're going to go from there. Obviously, if you have questions, drop them in the comments. Brian says, before we met, almost nothing online, and I only made money at festivals. So now over half, let's see, that's over around half. Let's say half of his income is coming from online sales now, compared to before we met, just using the strategies or starting with the strategies that you learn in the super seller system, that he learned in the super seller system. Okay, so let's get on to the first question. So I talk a lot about picking a unique product focus, and Kathy asked the question, what do you do if you have 2 solid products? I don't think if I left one behind that my product would be self-supporting. So I talk a lot about pick a unique product focus, make sure that you're clearly communicating that product focus on your Facebook page. That is the bait to draw people in. So when you make sales or when you are trying to sell online, you want to have that one unique product focus. And a lot of people have 2, 3, 4, 5 different products that they're focusing on. So how do you pick, and what do you do if you can't pick? So first of all, again, in the training in Handmade Sellers Club, we go through all of this. We talk about all the different kinds of questions you want to ask of what makes, which items are more profitable, which are more popular, which do you enjoy making, et cetera, et cetera. So let's say you go through that entire process that's in the training, and you're still left with 2 products, and you don't think that either one of them on their own could bring you in enough sales in order to sustain your business. What should you do at that point? So my first question would be, is that assumption that neither one of them can sustain your business, is that assumption based on your current sales? Meaning, let's say I'm only making a couple $100s a month on product A, and I'm only making a couple $100s a month on product B. The only reason why I'm making any kind of money is because I have them both there together. So let's say you're making $500 a month product A, $500 a month product B, you're making $1,000 a month. The fear is if I drop product B and only stay with product A, then I'm only going to make $500 a month. And the truth is that's not true at all. That's not true at all. So that's the first question I would ask, is if you're making an assumption that, it's taking this entire product mix for me to reach the income level that I'm currently at. So if I drop one, my income's going to drop, and therefore I'm shooting myself in the foot. The truth of the matter is when you pick a unique product focus, and we've seen this over and over and over. In fact, Brian could tell you this. We've seen this over and over and over again, that when you narrow down to a unique product focus, you'll actually make more sales. You can charge more for your product, and it will eclipse the amount of sales that you are making when you are trying to sell multiple products. Now, we got to make sure that there's a market, right? There's got to be people who actually want to buy the kind of thing that you want. If your niche is so very tiny that there's only 10 people in the United States that would buy it, and it's only $20 and they only need to buy it one time, that's obviously not very sustainable. So we need to make sure that the market is big enough, and that comes through testing and trying different things out. And we talk a lot about testing in the training video itself. So, excuse me. So if you're trying to decide between the 2 products, that's what I would look for is the market size there. is there enough demand for it? So I talk a lot about the story of what we did with the rabbit toy business. So we had a pet toy business, right? We made toys for rabbits, chinchillas, parrots, degus, guinea pigs, like any kind of small animal that chewed. That is who we went after with our product market. And if you would have asked me before I learned marketing, I would have said, I'm not making enough sales in rabbit toys in order to drop my advertising to the other markets. Because, I was only making a couple $100 a month. I'm only making a couple $100 a month. And so if I drop the other stuff, my income's going to go down. Obviously, right? If I drop the other stuff, my income's going to go down. When in fact the opposite happened. Now, when I did finally learn about niching down, I wasn't sure. So this is going to be the second part of my answer. When I decided to niche down, I was not sure which market made the most sense for me. So I looked at all the markets I was selling to. I was selling to birds. I was bird owners, rabbit owners, guinea pig owners, dagu owners, chinchilla owners, hamster owners, gerbil owners. Okay, so let's go with that product mix. So I started just to doing some research and really paying attention to, again, my experience of working at pet stores and that sort of thing, owning pets over years, knowing people who own pets. So I started looking at the market, and I knew that bird toys was a really, really big market, but there's a lot of competition there. Ton of competition in bird toys, including my own brother-in-law, my brother and sister-in-law. And I didn't want to compete directly with them. And I didn't know a lot about parrots, and I wasn't quite sure how to do parrot toys. I mean, we could have definitely done it, but we were seeing like, wow, there's a lot of websites out here that are selling parrot toys. And I don't know as much about parrots. I don't have a parrot, and I just don't know how I'm going to break into this market. Then I looked at things like gerbils and hamsters, right? Gerbils and hamsters do like to chew, but most people who buy a gerbil or hamster, for better or for worse, and I say obviously this is for worse, they don't take them very seriously, right? Oh, I got my kid a hamster. They're not spending a lot of money buying tons of accessories for their pets. It's a pet that's for the kids, right? So gerbils and hamsters didn't make a lot of sense because I didn't think that there was enough drive in the market to choose those. So then we go to dagus. Now, for many of you, this is the first time you've ever heard of a dagu. I think dagus are really awesome. Think like mix between a chinchilla and a gerbil. It kind of looks like a giant gerbil. I think they're really, really cool. They're interesting little critters. They were really popular years ago. When I say really popular, amongst kind of the exotic pet owners, they were all getting dagus. And I had a couple of dagus, and I'm like, okay, dagus love our toys. They go nuts over our toys. They chew everything. They take it all the way down to the nub. But there's like what, 1,000 dagu owners in the United States? How do I find them? How do I sell my product to them? It's such a tiny, tiny niche that a lot of people have never even heard of this animal. And so while if I made toys specifically for dagus, they would be like, wow, these are products for us. They'd be going through them very, very quickly because they chew very, very quickly. And it didn't make a lot of sense. So I marked dagus off the list. Then I looked at guinea pigs. Guinea pigs, very popular. People love their guinea pigs. They tend to be obsessed with their guinea pigs. It's not so much like hamsters and gerbils where there's not as much of an obsession over the animal. Guinea pig owners tend to be a little bit more obsessed. But guess what? Guinea pigs don't really chew that much. So you could give them a toy and put it in their cage and they may never touch it. It's like a 50-50 chance of whether they'll even nibble on it, right? So we had this great market. Lots of people own guinea pigs. Guinea pigs are very popular. People love their guinea pigs. Great market, but they don't play with toys. So we crossed that one off the list. Now we're left with chinchillas and rabbits. So chinchillas, kind of a niche pet. Not most of you probably don't even know anybody that's ever owned a chinchilla. I've had a chinchilla before. His name was Bob, and I loved Bob. Bob was fantastic. One of my favorite pets that I've had. He was a lot of fun. So there's chinchillas. and then there's rabbits. So chinchillas, again, niche animal. Not a lot of people have them, but we were able to find people that had chinchillas online. We were able to find communities of people, and enough people had them that it kind of made sense. So I wasn't quite sure, and they chinchillas definitely loved our toys. They would chew on the toys. They're kind of like degus, so they're pretty heavy chewers on the toys. And there seemed to be enough people there. Then we had rabbits. Now, my experience growing up, I had never really, we did keep one house rabbit, but we thought we were the exception rather than rule. We didn't know that house rabbits existed. And when I did a little bit of research on it and I found out about house rabbits and house rabbit rescues, I saw that these were people that were absolutely 100% obsessed with their pets. Just like giving them entire rooms, treating them like children. There was an obsession with rabbits that I didn't really see in a lot of the other niches, maybe bar the parrots, right? People with parrots definitely obsessed with their pets. Um, and so I thought, I don't know. I don't know which one of these is the right direction to go. So I did both. So that's the second half of my answer here. If you are really stuck and you're like, one of these is probably going to do really well, but I'm kind of coming at a draw between these two unique product focuses, and I'm not quite sure which of them is going to take over and do really well for me. Then I would test them both. And so what we did is we created two different websites. There was no Facebook at the time, and two different marketing strategies. We went out and we marketed rabbit toys over here, and we marketed chinchilla toys over there. Now, I'm not saying you have to go out and build two websites. What you can do today is build two different Facebook pages and market to this audience over here and market to that audience over there. And what happened with us is there becomes a winner. One of those outshines the other. There's one that we ended up putting more energy behind, that we got more orders from, that we got more inquiries from. We were able to build the email list faster. Again, this is before Facebook. Everything was clicking into place and doing really well with that. And I found myself working 80% of the time on the rabbit toy business and 20% of the time on the chinchilla business. It was the same exact product, by the way. There was like hardly any difference in the product. Like we had a couple of rabbit specific and chinchilla specific toys, but it was 95% the same thing. And so eventually we closed the chinchilla business. Once we found our winner, once we found the one that like, all right, this is the one that took off, then we stuck with the winner. Now, the mistake people make is they're emotionally invested in every single thing that they do. And so when they hear me say you should start two pages, they're like, oh my gosh, that's so much work. How am I going to keep up with that forever? And the point is not to. Don't keep up with it forever. Find the winner and kill the loser. We are in business, right? This is not a hobby. This is not about you. Obviously I want people to enjoy what it is that they do. I don't want you to making a product. And that's part of our question, our questions that we ask people in the unique product focus section of the Handmade and of the super seller system. You got to love it, right? You got to love the thing. If you're picking two and one of them you hate and one of them you love and the one you hate takes off, well, then you just put yourself in a pickle. You're making a product that you hate simply to make the money for it. So I still want you to love the product that you make, but I don't want you to fall in love with your product that you think I have to make this one work because this is the one I love. I have to keep two pages going because I can't imagine, it's like choosing between your children, right? Well, newsflash, it's not. It's not choosing between your children. You're choosing a profitable business model versus a less profitable business model. And what kept us going with the chinchilla business for far too long was that little bit of success we were getting with chinchillas, right? We're getting just enough sales to justify keeping it open. But the truth is, if we would have killed the chinchilla business faster and put the energy we were getting from that into the rabbit toy business, we could have grown the rabbit toy business bigger and better faster. Instead, we allowed the crumbs coming from the chinchilla business. And our fear at the time would have been, But if we kill the chinchilla business, then we're not going to make as much money. So we have to keep it. And that was completely backwards thinking. By killing the chinchilla business, we were breathing extra life into the rabbit toy business so that it could go up and beyond. And what it would make up for is not just the deficit of no longer having that little bit of income from the chinchilla business, it would go way beyond that. So you got to kind of let go of this fear that if I focus on one thing, on a unique product focus, that my sales are going to dip. It feels like a leap of faith, and I get that. It feels like a step off the edge of the cliff. I totally get that. But it's a fear that is unfounded. You need to have a unique product focus. Now, if you say, all right, if I drop the other thing and I just sell that thing, there's not enough market to keep that going. Then it's not a good pick. It's just not a good pick. Then you may need to pick an entirely different product. And that's the other thing that I think that a lot of handmade sellers fall so much in love with their own product that they don't sit and consider whether or not that product is actually conducive to a profitable business. You may love what it is that you do, but if what you do is not marketable, there's no demand for it, people are just not interested, if there's not enough people to purchase it, then it's not a profitable business idea, right? You are not owed a profitable business simply because you make a product. The product has to check boxes. The product has got to check boxes. You know, I hear a lot of people say, well, my business is very seasonal, and I only sell stuff at Christmas time. You know, what do I do? Well, if you're trying to build a year round, then you have a seasonal business and you have to be okay with not making income the rest of the year. Like I can't make it happen, and you can't make people buy Christmas stuff in March. They're just not interested. So you've got to look at your product very realistically, and look at your goals. And if your goal is to sell year round, but you have a product that only sells one time of the year, then you need to revisit your product mix. If your goal is to make $3,000 a month, but there's only 5 people in the United States who want to buy the thing that you have, or, you know, I have people say, well, I'm trying to sell at the shows and nothing is selling there. I'm trying to sell on Etsy. It's not selling there. I'm trying to sell on Facebook. It's not selling there. If you can't even get sales at the shows, we've got a problem, right? We have a big problem if you can't even get a sale at a show. The problem is not fixing your online marketing. Selling online is not going to fix a failed product. So you cannot just say, all right, the shows aren't working for me, I must sell online. Unless you've got market research that says, no, there's really an audience for this. I just can't find that audience at shows, right? So that was us with the rabbit toy business. We had a difficult time setting up at a farmer's market selling rabbit toys. But if we set up at a pet expo, we would sell, right? So you got to make sure that you're comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges here. But be realistic about your products. Just because you make X does not mean you can build a business on X. And if you want a profitable business that pays the bills and X isn't cutting it, and everything you try, you join the super seller system, you apply everything, I can show you how to make sales on Facebook, but I can't make somebody buy a product that they just don't want. So, you know, sometimes that's what it comes down to. When people join Handmade Sellers Club and they go through the super seller system, sometimes the conclusion at the end, if they go through it and they test it and they try it, is just nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. You know, you're spending 10 hours a day making a single product that ultimately nobody wants. And if your goal is to build a sustainable business doing something creative that you love, then you can make those adjustments. If your goal is, I have to sell this one thing and I have to make that profitable and make all of my money, and you're not willing to be flexible there to potentially make a product that is in more demand, then you're not going to get anywhere with your business. You're going to get stuck. And that's where I say people fall in love with the product. They fall in love with the idea that, oh, I'm a crocheter, right? And you can do really well with crochet. But crocheters a lot of times pride themselves in all the different kinds of crochet that they can do. Well, that's going to kind of hurt you. That's going to hurt you when you try to sell online and insist on selling a broad range of products to show off your crochet skills. That's not a sustainable business. You have to narrow it down into a unique product focus. All right, so hopefully that answers that question for Kathy who asked that. I'm hoping that helps you narrow down and get realistic about your product and your offering to the marketplace. Because again, we're in business. That's what matters. That's what matters. If to you the biggest thing that matters is the craft and this particular product that you're creating, and you don't really care whether it makes money or not a problem. That's a hobby. That's a hobby. You're more than welcome to have a hobby. I applaud people who say, you know what? I don't think I like this business thing. I just want to make stuff, and I'll sell it at a couple of shows if I feel like it. Great. Fantastic. But know the difference. just know the difference. Hi, Lana. Long time no see, back at you. I'm excited to hear how your stamp submission goes because that was so cool. And I love, love, love that bird that you posted with the two different backgrounds. And I vote blue. I forgot to write it down, but that's what I vote. I vote blue, and he's absolutely gorgeous. All right. Next question that we had from last time. It was a pretty basic question, and I could go on a long time about this, but I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible. And the question was, how do you build confidence in yourself? How do you build confidence in your product, in your posts, in how you're approaching your business? How do you build the confidence to take a selfie? How do you build the confidence to go live? How do you build the confidence to post every day? How do you build the confidence to commit to your business? And the short answer is to just do it. That's the short answer, is just do it. If you're afraid of taking a product selfie because you lack confidence, the best way to get over that is to take one anyways. I tell my kids all the time, do it scared. Like, do it scared, but just do it. Once you do it scared and nothing bad happens and the world doesn't come crumbling down around you, then you will realize, oh, wait, everything I've built up in my head, that all these bad things that I imagine are going to happen to me when I do this thing didn't happen. We do this all the time in Handmade Sellers Club. 3 times a year, we have a Facebook Live challenge, and it's either in March or April coming up. We have I don't think it's in February. I think it's in March or April. We have the Facebook Live challenge coming up. And what we do is we have a Facebook group that Handmade Sellers Club members can go into. And we give you a prompt every day for 5 days, and you go live within that group. And the reason why we do this is because I know that a lot of people can't build up the nerve to just go live on their page. It's going to be 2 years and they still haven't done it, right? Oh, I know I should do that, and they just don't do it. So we do this 5-day challenge. And I tell them you can go live in the group. You can also go live to your page and participate in the challenge by going live on your page. But you can go live in the group and just kind of learn what the buttons are, how to start the live, how to end the live, what to say on the live. We give you a prompt. We give you, something to say while you're on the live. You'll see if your video is sideways or your microphone doesn't work, or, you'll see what you look like on video. Guess what? Every day when you go to the grocery store and when you go walk around town, or you go wherever it is you're going, you go to work, whatever, people see you. They see you, they see your face. Going on video and seeing your own face, the only thing that's changed is now you can see it too. As far as the world is concerned, nothing else has changed. The only thing that's changed is now you can see it. And so everything that is coming up for you with your fears and your insecurities and all of that is all here. It's all here. And the good news is, while we can't control other people and we can't tell other people what to do, we do have some influence over ourselves. And so when I first started, it was like, panic. Panic, like how can I go live and like I have to sound perfect, I have to be perfect, and I have to look perfect, and I have to have the perfect background. I waited years, you guys, years and years, and I'm like embarrassed by it now. And I'm so upset with myself that I knew about, going live and doing videos back in 2010 and 2011. I'm not quite sure Facebook Live was around, but there was at least the availability of doing videos on Facebook. And I kicked that can and I kicked that can and I kicked that can. And I was like, nope, I got to wait till I'm perfect. I got to wait. And that's all lack of confidence, right? That's all lack of confidence. And that's all just me inner critiquing myself. Unfortunately, I did do a series of journaling challenges that helped me get over that in a big way. And what I realized through these journaling challenges, which we actually have one going on right now, it started yesterday. But if anybody's interested in joining, this is a 30-day business journaling challenge. If anybody's interested in joining and would like the link, you can jump in day 2. It's not going to hurt anything to jump in day 2. Let me know in the comments and I'll get you the link if you're interested. But I took a very similar journaling challenge, and by the end of it, I realized that the biggest thing that was holding me back in my business was just me and my mental junk. It was just me nitpicking and criticizing everything that I would do. It was me second guessing myself constantly because I didn't have any confidence. And the answer was just to 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 do it. To do it. And I would ask myself things like, well, what's the worst that can happen? What is the worst? You take a selfie of yourself. What is the worst that can happen? Somebody's not going to like it. Somebody's going to do a rude comment. All right, block them. Then what? Then what's the worst thing? Like you're not going to die. That's one thing I tell HSC members a lot. We say that a lot is like, you didn't die. You posted the selfie, you didn't die. You might feel a little uncomfy, right? You might feel a little unsure and a little like, man, that brought up some feelings for me. But then work through those feelings. Okay, why do I feel that way? And for me, it was, are those feelings and avoiding those feelings, is that more important to me than the success of my business? Is avoiding those uncomfortable feelings my goal? Is that my goal in life? Is my goal in life to avoid uncomfortable feelings and to hide from potential criticism? If that's my goal, I've been doing great. But then why am I so frustrated? Because it's not my goal. My goal is to build a business, to grow, to make money, to support my family, to go on vacations, to live a life of freedom. My goal is to help people. My goal is to help them grow their business. So if that is my goal, and I have these two things in conflict, protecting my feelings and making myself feel safe and never ever feeling a negative emotion, or going on vacations and not having to have a 9 to 5 job and supporting my family and, having a future. I have a decision to make, right? Am I going to allow my fear of the unknown, my fear of something new and different? Am I going to allow that to rob all the potential and goals and money that I could be making over here? And I just came to a decision like, no, I'm not going to let that get in the way of that. Now, does it still get in the way of that? Sure. I'm human, right? I still have things that pop up in my head like, I can't do that. That would be so corny. Like, I can't do that. And what I look for is those times when I'm feeling that way and say, okay, then that means that's the thing I have to do. Like, if I feel like I can't do that because I'd be maybe a little embarrassed or I'm outside of my comfort zone and I don't know, what would people say if I did it that way? If that's what I'm thinking and it's stopping me from doing something that I know that I need to do to move my business forward, then that's the thing I have to do. That is the thing I have to do. And so it's just holding your breath and jumping off the diving board. Like, it's scary. Do you remember that as a kid? Like in school, we had to do the diving board thing. And that was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying. Going off the diving board or even just jumping from the edge of the pool into the deep end. terrifying as a kid. And then you add height to it on the first, terrifying. But what happens when you did it? Like, you lived. You're like, "Oh, okay, now I know what that's like." And while you may not love it, it's easier to do it the second time, and then the third time. Then you find out you just might love it. And that's what happens when people take the 5-day Facebook Live challenge. We have had people cry at the beginning. Their voice is shaking, they're crying. All of that fear and angst and all of the mental junk is just like vibrating, and it's like it's being strangled, right? Like all that fear is being killed and their body doesn't know what to do about it. And then day 2 they're like, "Okay, I can do this a little bit better." And then day 3 they're like, "Okay, I know how to hit the buttons," and the nerves are subsiding. And by day 5 they're like, "I really don't know what I was afraid of. I really don't know what I was afraid of because there was nothing to really be afraid of. It's not really that hard." Um, it's just took a little bit of practice. I love the saying, the only way out is through. You got to go through it. And when you go through it, it's never as bad as what you imagined it's going to be. Even if it's a disaster, even if it's an epic disaster, guess what? You get to do it again and then again and then again. And you learn and you adjust. And sometimes it works better because it's a disaster. People empathize with you and they're like, "Oh no, that was terrible. I feel so bad for her." And then you just move on. You move on. You just move on and continue to do it. And next thing you know, it's not even something that you have to deal with anymore. So that's what I say. I love the only way out is through. Um, did it kill you? Is it going to kill you? Are you going to die? It is not a lion. It is not a predator. It is not going to kill you to go Facebook Live. It's not going to kill you to devote time to your business. Figure out what your actual goals are. If you're clear about your goal and your why, right? And we're going to talk about this in the journaling challenge too. Like, why? What is your why? Why is this important? When you're really clear about that, then the fears seem so much less important because you've got a big why. You've got a big why. So, the fear is just it doesn't exist. It's a paper tiger. It just doesn't exist. It just really doesn't exist. It's only a story that we're telling ourselves in our head. Um, and then just the idea that if you're afraid of something, then that means you have to do it. That means it. And answer the what ifs. That's another one I teach my kids. Well, what if? What if this happens? Well, what if? Follow through. What if? Well, then people will laugh. Okay, and then what? Nothing happens. Nothing happens after that. Like literally nothing happens. So yeah, don't be afraid to question your fears. Don't back off from questioning your fears. Don't cower to your fears. One of my favorite things is that day 5 of the live challenge, because people who were scared and mousy and hiding in the corner over here come out to day 5 and say, "You know what? I can do this." And nothing feels better than that. In fact, I think that's my favorite win out of all the wins. We've had people go from 2 sales in 2 years to $10,000 months, right? We've had people make big monetary leaps. But for me, what always gives me the biggest goosebumps is when somebody's like, "This has affected how I approach my entire life." We had a member that did the business on the side, still had a full-time job. And she's like, "I'm so much more confident in my job. I'm so much more confident with setting boundaries with people." Like the confidence that they build when they just do. When they just do, they see the scary thing and they do it anyhow. It's scary, do it anyhow. Tandy says, "That's powerful. Is my goal to be afraid of blank?" Yeah, it's just question it. Most people never ever question their fears. They just assume that they're real. Well, I don't want to see myself. I don't want to see myself on camera. Well, why not? Well, I don't want to see what I look like. Well, newsflash, it's what you look like. Like, are you more afraid of seeing yourself on camera Is that your goal, is to be afraid of seeing yourself on camera? Is that what you want your life to be? Or do you want to sell more product? Because I'll tell you right now, you go live consistently on your page, you'll sell more product. You'll sell a lot more product. All right. Just going live is going to sell you more product. So do you want to sell more product or less product? Do you not want to see yourself and sell less product? And everybody's looking for the workaround. Yeah, but Allie, what? But there's got to be a way I can do this without putting myself out there. And if that was true, then a lot more people would be successful with selling online. You've got to put yourself out there, and you've got to create that connection between you and the audience. And if you're hiding behind a brand and a logo and kind of business speak in order to never expose yourself, in order to never put yourself out there, then you're going to get those results, which is not a lot, because nobody really knows you. They're not connecting with you. They don't see you. And you're not doing the things that would make you successful because you're too scared to do them. All right. Let's see. Craig says, relatively new to Facebook, have a personal page and a group page. So a stupid question. Should I start a separate Facebook presence for my LLC business? So Craig, I have some follow-up questions based on that. First of all, a group page is not a thing. There's a group and there's a page. So you have a personal account. Okay. So your personal account, and then you either have a group or a page, a business page. So the difference between a group and a business page. So a business page is, you said like a Facebook presence. A business page is much more of like that Facebook presence. However, I don't like your terminology there of like presence, because it just means like, well, I gotta be there. No, be there and be intentional and make sales from it, right? Don't just be there. Show up and be intentional, and you're going to make a lot more sales. So every business should have a page. Every single business on the planet should have a page. This is where, even if you're a big corporation, people are going to check your page just to kind of see what's new, announcements, see if you're active, see what you're about, right? Because a website can be pretty static. Facebook page is dynamic, right? So they want to see what's going on. So everybody should have a page. I teach Facebook pages in my training in the super seller system, because there's a lot more that a page can do versus a group. So a page can boost a post. It can run ads. A page, posts from a page are public, so they can be shared. People can be tagged in them. Pages show up on Google search results, and pages are the business talking to the audience. Okay. So it is like me talking to you. I'm going live right now, both on YouTube, but also on my Facebook page. This is me talking to my audience. And then there's comments, and we dialogue with the comments. Okay. Now a group is, you can't run ads. Most groups are private. You can make them public, but then it creates a whole ton of headaches. And people look for and join groups because they have questions about something, or they're passionate about something, usually. So new moms join new moms groups. So they have questions and they want feedback. Somebody who starts a diet, like a whole food plant-based diet, they join a group because they have questions about, can I eat this or can I eat that, right? So a group is there for community. The group is there for forums. Think of a group as a forum. The other reason people join groups is they're just passionate about something. So, people who own dash hounds, there are tons of dash hound groups out there that are not necessarily questions about their dash hound and their dash hound's health, although I know there's probably groups like that too. But just like, I love dash hounds and I want to see more pictures of dash hounds. I actually belong to goldfish groups because I love goldfish. Like, I love fancy goldfish. I think they're gorgeous. I love like Ryukins and Orandas and telescope eyes. And I just want to see pretty pictures of goldfish in my feed. I want to see videos of goldfish in my feed. So I joined goldfish groups for that reason. What groups are not good for is talking business or being business forward. So you would not name a group after your business. So I don't know what your business name is. So let's say Craig's Crafts and Stuff LLC. Like, Craig's Crafts and Stuff is a Facebook page, although let's work on that title. Like that's definitely something we cover in Handmade Sellers Club. You got to tell people what it is that you actually sell. But if you do Craig's Crafts and stuff on a group, then you're saying, hey, everybody, come here and let's talk together about my business. Right? It doesn't quite work the same. Now, the people can get away with certain level of sending people to their group versus a business page, but you're going to be found a lot less. So if somebody's searching for your business, they're looking for a page, not a group. And people aren't searching for groups with business page names. They're looking for groups about subjects. So there are times when a group makes sense for a business. For instance, Jen, one of my Handmade Sellers Club members, she sells a lot of things that are like metaphysical and for people who are witches. And so she has her page where she talks about her business and her products, but then she created a group on, like how for beginner witches, right? Beginner witches and how to do certain practices where people can ask questions, but it's not about her business and it's not about her products. She can weave that into it, but that's not what the group is about. So if you have a group page that is your business name, then just go start a page, a real page, a business page. Name it after your business. Again, go through my super seller system. We talk about how to name your page the right way. And then if your group is about a subject, when we had the rabbit toy business, we had a rabbit group where people could just share cute pictures of their rabbits. Now we were in there and we can interact and we can do things and we can do it as our page in there, right? But it wasn't about rabbit toys. It was about rabbits and people loving rabbits and wanting to share pictures of their rabbits. We did not make it a question and answer type group because those get toxic really fast when they're built around pets. So we made it more about just share cute pictures of your bunnies. If you have a cute picture of your bunny, share a cute picture of your bunny. And that's what we built the entire community around. Most handmade sellers don't have a use for a group. So if you're selling jewelry, you probably don't have a use for a group. If you're selling wood signs, you don't have a use for a group. However, like Brian sells cribbage boards, he could totally have a cribbage group where people just share memes about cribbage and share strategies about cribbage and ask questions about cribbage and share pictures of their boards. All boards, not just Brian's boards, but Brian can be the admin and he can interact in that group as his page, and it gives him more exposure, but it's not the place to sell necessarily. I'm sure you could do a sale in there, but it's like you want to focus. This is on community and around a common idea is a group. A Facebook page is about your business and your products and building a relationship with your potential buyers. Is that helpful? Let's see. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Lana says, Allie, you'll have a laugh. I'm getting recognized on the streets. Got a few ladies meeting and saying, you're Lana, right? Quilling artist. I love that. My goal, this sounds so superficial, but like this is my goal, is to visit a art or craft show outside of my local area and have a random person that's not somebody I know from Handmade Sellers Club. Just have a random person say, I know who you are. That's when I know I have like market saturation, right? Like that, like if I can go, just like if I travel to North Carolina and go to a farmer's market and there's somebody there selling bracelets and they're like, you're Allie Thompson, like that's going to mean so much to me. It hasn't happened yet. People here locally know who I am. And if I went to a show like where Lana would know who I was. If I went to a show where Lana was, I want like somebody random, like I don't know who you are, but they recognize me. I know it sounds shallow, but it's also part of like knowing that I've had influence on my market, right? And that's where I really like a niche that's small enough that you get recognized. When we were in the rabbit toy niche, we went to a couple of different rabbit related events and people did know us. They're like, oh, Handmade or Happy Rabbit Toys. Almost said the wrong thing. Happy Rabbit Toys. I know you guys. I've bought from you before. And that helped give us the confidence that, we were really showing up in the market and actually making an influence and making a dent. Um, let's see. Michelle says, I might know all about what I do, but I know nothing about what you do. You are the master of your craft. When you share with me, no mistakes you make can be bigger than my awe. I love that. That's so good. We again, that's so good. We are in our business so much that we see mistakes that other people don't. Other people are looking at us and saying, this is the coolest. This is so cool. What you're doing is so cool. But we're in our head saying, nah, I messed up on this and I messed up on that. The fact that you even go live, people are in awe of that. They think you're on TV. Like Lana just said that she was being recognized. If somebody sees you showing up consistently in their newsfeed, going live, or even just videos of you, then you become a celebrity, right? Like you become somebody who is above and beyond everybody else in their minds. I mean, it doesn't make you a better person on a grand scheme of things, but you're doing something that everybody else is afraid to do. Everybody in the United States has the technology to go live. If you've got a cell phone or a computer, you have the technology to go live on Facebook. It doesn't cost a thing to go live on Facebook. I am literally going live on Facebook right now for free. But just showing up and showing people what you do and talking about your product, they're going to be in awe and wowed by that. And I keep going back to the Facebook Live because I know that's one of those things that a lot of you guys listening to this right now are saying, I could never. That's terrifying. But I also know there's a bunch of you guys watching that thought that, then did it, and now they do it all the time. In fact, Lana says, I remember my first live challenge. I almost threw up online. I was that nervous. Now Lana goes live every single week. And I'm going to insert my comment here, and loves it, right, Lana? Like there's no more fear. There's none of that there. Lana was afraid to raise her prices at first, and now she has, right? She was afraid to go live, and now she does it. One of the things when we do our how to get more likes, comments, and sales on Facebook, when we do that free 5-day challenge, one of the challenge prompts is to do a selfie of you with a product. Why? Because I know that when you do it, you're going to feel nervous about doing it, and then you're going to do it, and then you're going to be like, oh my God, I just did that. Right? And that's what I want. That's what I want you to feel. Oh my God, I just did that. All right. Denise says, I'm not afraid of talking in front of people for the most part, but Facebook Live, I'm a mouse. Reframe that. Facebook Live, I'm a tiger. Facebook Live is no different than talking to people in person. Facebook Live is just me chatting about my products, which I love to do. Don't you love your products? Don't you love showing people your products? Don't you love that? To just do it on a Facebook Live. Like there is no difference. There is no difference. Challenge that assumption that you have that there's anything different about going live. Why are you a mouse? You're not a mouse. You're a human being. You're not a mouse. You be the shark. Like if you're going to choose an animal, be the shark. I always go back to be the shark because being the shark, when I just talked to somebody on a mastermind I'm a part of last week where she said, I don't know, I'm just kind of scared to do this and I really don't want to bug people. And I said, be the shark. And she goes, oh, I like that. Be the shark. And I said, what is a shark? A shark goes about its daily life. What does it do? It just does shark things, right? It eats things, it swims, it just lives life as a shark. What is a shark afraid of? Sharks are like the top predators, right? What is a shark afraid of? Just be the shark. Just show up and be a shark. Just it doesn't mean, take advantage of people or be an asshole or anything like that. Being the shark is just showing up with confidence. Like if what brought me, the reason why I say be the shark, the reason why that's my motto for me, the reason why I always say to myself, I am the shark, is, I had a similar experience where I was very afraid. I was going to pitch to a group of people. I was going to try to convince them to hire me, to do some marketing for them. And I'm sitting there scared and I felt like a mouse. I felt like pray. And I felt like these guys get to decide whether or not, I get told yes. They get to decide whether or not I get this job. And then I'm like, wait a minute. They should be nervous that I'm going to say no. They should be hoping that they have the budget to hire me because I know what I'm bringing to the table is going to help them. I know that what I bring to the table is going to change things drastically for them. Why am I scared of them? They should be scared of me. And I approached that entire presentation that way. And you know what? They said no. And I walked away knowing, actually, they said, no, but can you do it, but do it on a smaller scale? And I said, no, because if I want to actually give you a good result, I have to do it the way that I'm saying to do it. If you tell me, don't do the whole thing to make it successful, only do half of the thing to make it successful, then it's not going to be successful. And so they were like, come on, lower your price. We only have the budget for this or that. And I'm like, nah. My time is worthwhile. My expertise is worthwhile. I'm telling you what needs to be done in order to make this successful. If you don't have the budget for this, then that's a you problem. That's not a me problem, right? I'm sorry, but we're not going to be able to work together. And when you approach your business that way, when you stop like lowering prices, begging people to buy, and you stop like, giving every concession in a custom order and a special order, when you stop letting your customers walk all over you and tell you what payment methods they're going to give you and how they're going to do business with you, and you say, no, this is how I do business. This is the product that I offer. Now, we do still have to follow general marketing rules of good business practice, like just good business practice rules. But when you say like, I'm the shark, they're coming after me. They should be afraid that I don't have the product that they want. They should be nervous that I'm going to tell them no. That's how you should approach your marketing. That's how you need to approach your business, is not shrinking and hoping everybody accepts and loves you, but putting your shoulders back, understanding the value that you bring, understanding that you know what you're talking about, understanding that people love your product and they're going to beg to work with you and to have your products. That's exactly what the entire super seller system is built around, is flipping the script. Rather than you leaning into people and begging, please, 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 please buy from me, you lean back and become so magnetic and so desirable, and your products become so desirable and they can't stop thinking about them, that they start leaning into you and saying, please, please, please sell me that. Please sell me that before the live sale. Please sell me that before anybody else gets it. Please make me one in blue. Yeah, I'll wait 6 months for it because I understand that you have a lot of demand because you are worth it and you have a lot of value. We flip that script, right? And it's not begging, you leaning in, it's you leaning back and them leaning in towards you. That's what it means to be the shark. And a mouse hides. A mouse hides. A mouse makes no money. Mice make no money. So if you want to be a mouse, if you want to call yourself a mouse and consider yourself a mouse, and if you want to repeat that I'm a mouse, then that's what you're going to manifest in your business, right? Then you're going to manifest hiding and not being the shark. You can't be a shark and a mouse at the same time. And you can't sell products when you hide in a corner. Betty says, this is really making me think on several things. That's awesome. I love to hear that. Lana says, Allie is awesome in making you think. Yeah, that's why we're doing the journaling challenge, because the journaling challenge is about that confidence and making you think about your business. There are a lot of coaches out there that are just like, follow step 1, step 2, step 3. But the reason why a lot of people aren't successful with that is because they're in their head and they're in their way and they're letting fear take over and they're making excuses and they're treating their product as precious and all of those things. That's not what you get with me. I want to see you actually make money. I want to see you build your confidence. I want to see, I still remember one of my clients, she said, I wanted to buy outdoor furniture. And I always had to ask my husband to buy the outdoor furniture because it was his money. And then he would kick the can and, oh, I don't know if we need that and whatever. And I wanted it. So she took my course, used the super seller system, adjusted her product, used the quick cash method to make some mad money in some Facebook groups. And she's like, I went and bought my own furniture, right? I didn't have to ask him. I didn't say anything to him. I just went and bought it. And now I have outdoor furniture and I love it. Like, that's what I'm working for, right? That empowerment. I want to empower you. I can't empower you. I want you to empower yourself, but I want to facilitate that process. I want to give you the knowledge that you need. I want you to give you the confidence that you need. I want to help you find that confidence that you need. And then I'm just giving you the strategies, like, right, the step 1, step 2, step 3. But you've got to play the mental game of it too. Business is a mental game. Business is a mental game. Anybody telling you anything different is just trying to gloss over stuff. Business is a mental game. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it and everybody would be successful at it. It can be hard. I'm here to make it easier. I'm here to make it faster. I'm here to give you low-tech solutions so that you can get there and start building that confidence. Then we can get more technical, we can get more complex, we can build that business up to something bigger. But if you're overwhelmed by the tech, and if you're overwhelmed by how long it takes you to do something, you're overwhelmed by all those things, the mental game has beat you, right? The overwhelm has beat you. So we're giving you small baby steps. That's what we start with in the super seller system. Small baby steps to get the ball rolling. Then we start tackling the bigger problems. All right. Craig says, my group page has no business affiliation or flair, more of a hobby only flavor. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I have groups that are just for my hobby stuff. I join groups that are just for hobby stuff. Your business should have a page, though. Your business should have a page. Katie says, question, 2 sisters have their own talents. How do they do a Facebook business? How to do a product focus between our main interests, between polymer clay figurines and beaded sun catchers. 2 businesses, 2 sisters, 2 different interests. That is 2 different businesses. I love that you want to be there for each other and support each other. But I have seen too many businesses go down because they insist on, she does that and I do this, and we have to do it on the same page together. Be there for each other, support each other, help each other, but have 2 separate business pages. One for polymer clay figurines and one for beaded sun catchers. Short answer. I know it's not what you want to hear. And if you say, yeah, but I'm the only one who can do the marketing, my sister can't do it, then you have a business. I mean, it's the long and short of it. Then you have a business and she has a hobby, and that's okay. You have a business, she has a hobby. These are 2 different markets. They're going to be marketed differently. They're going to have different followers. They're going to have different interests. They're going to have different approaches to your posts with 2 separate products. You cannot assume people who are obsessed with polymer clay figurines are also going to be obsessed with beaded sun catchers and vice versa. That is not how this goes. So straight talk. Again, it's probably not what you want to hear, but that is 2 businesses with 2 different products. And, encourage each other and say, hey, this is what I posted today. What did you post? Or I've got some ideas for you, and have like business meetings where you guys talk about your businesses and help and support. I think that's fantastic. But don't try to shove them together into one thinking you're saving time, or it's more efficient to have them together, or my customers will buy from you and vice versa, because none of that is true. It's going to make it harder. It just makes it harder. If you want to make it harder, do that. I want to help you make it easier. So don't do that. Denise said Allie basically answered that in the first part of her video. Yeah, so Katie, go back and watch like the first 20 minutes of this video. And I talked a lot about the 2 focuses. Denise says, thank you. I'll practice my shark. That's right. You are the shark. Be the shark. Be the shark. Be the shark. That's why I have the stuffed animal shark here. I have a mug with a shark eating a Facebook sign on it. I've got another mug back there that says I am the shark. We're going to be doing a lot more in Handmade Sellers Club. Sneak peek for those of you that are in Handmade Sellers Club. We're going to start a program in the next month or two, not ready yet, called Shark of the Week. And it's all based around this idea of helping you put yourself out there, and being the shark. We had a lot of fun with the shark imagery before COVID. And then I don't know, COVID just made me depressed. And we dropped so much of the shark conversation. And I loved it when we talked about the shark because it was a mantra people could say, I am the shark. I had some clients that I told them that same story I told you guys about being the shark. And they went to a show and they came back from the show and they said, Allie, we sold more than we've ever sold before. And we outsold our competitors. We outsold what we ever did. And I said, what was different? What did you do different? And they had been nervous about the show because it was a really big one. And they were like, oh my gosh, it's big. There are a lot of people there. There's a lot of competition there. How are we going to show up? And they're like, you know what? We walked into that show and we're like, we're the sharks. This is our show. We're the ones who are going to sell everything, right? Like if somebody's going to buy a leash, they're going to buy it from us. We're the sharks. And they just took that attitude through the entire show. So rather than hiding in the back and hoping somebody asked about their product, they stood up and they were forward and they're like, oh, what kind of dog do you have? Well, we have this here and we have that there, because they know that the products that they have, people are going to love them, right? So it's not even fake. It's like, we know we have the better product. We're just going to show up and act like it. And they're going to be nervous that we don't have it in the right color or that we're not going to be able to custom make it for them, right? Like they should be afraid that they're going to miss out on our leashes if they don't get to our booth by the time the show is over. It's just flipping the script. Flip the script. Be the shark. Don't be the prey. Be the shark. Linda says, do you recommend using ChatGPT to give descriptions of your items you're marketing? A fantastic question. I am going to be I have done in Handmade Sellers Club. We've talked about ChatGPT before. We're going to be doing some specific training videos in Handmade Sellers Club about how to use ChatGPT, because there are right ways and wrong ways. The short answer is yes, absolutely use ChatGPT. The wrong way to use ChatGPT is just using the basic, like, write me a product description for this. It's going to sound very AI-y. And we don't want to sound AI-y. We want to sound like a person, like a real human being, and we want it to be more in our voice. So, finding voices, finding ways to make it more your voice, finding ways to not make it too salesy. Because ChatGPT, if you tell ChatGPT, write me a Facebook post for my product, and here's the product, it will get really salesy really fast. So ChatGPT is a co-pilot. ChatGPT is somebody that's going to help you in your journey, but you have to have the right strategies to begin with. And that's what we teach you in Handmade Sellers Club. Excuse me. In fact, we're working on creating custom chatbots for members. It's not done yet. That's a this year project. We're going to work on custom chatbots for members that is going to help you find like that tone of voice, and talk about the products in a way that it does not sound overly salesy. But you do have to know the difference. You do have to know the difference. And that's why we have the Prompts for Profits calendar. If you use ChatGPT with the Prompts for Profits calendar and understand how to prompt it right with the tone of voice, it can work fantastic. And it can be very, very quick, much quicker than writing it ourselves. But if all you're doing is posting your features into ChatGPT and say, write me a product description, it's going to tend, or like a Facebook post, it's going to tend to go salesy, and it's going to tend to use language real people don't use. And it does it so much that, like, I can instantly recognize. I'm on an Etsy listing. I read it. Oh, that was ChatGPT. Like I can recognize it from a mile away. Now, I use a lot of ChatGPT, and maybe some people can recognize that mine's ChatGPT, but it doesn't sound like the base ChatGPT voice. I have a specific voice, and it has learned over time. So ChatGPT, if you have an account with them, it will learn over time the kinds of things you want and what you don't want, and it will start to adjust. So mine has adjusted a lot. It pretty much knows the direction I want to go, and I probably would have a hard time making it do my the chat GPT voice at this time. But that takes a long time, and like really giving a lot of input back to chat GPT. So short answer, yes. Long answer, be careful. Again, this is something that we do. I do definitely recommend, and we're going to be pulling together workshops on how to actually use ChatGPT. Um, at this time, if you're going to use ChatGPT, what I would say is if you're entering in your information, edit what comes out the other side. Take away words. If you wouldn't say that word, if you wouldn't describe your product that way, if it doesn't feel natural to say what it wrote out loud, edit it so that it does. Edit, or just take a couple of lines, have it write several different versions of it and say, oh, I like this line from that one and that line from that one, and cobble them together. So that it sounds like you and it doesn't sound like ChatGPT. Edit. Excuse me. Excuse me. Lana said she discovered her AI recently developed for art type descriptions and such. It's called Theobot. Yeah, there's a lot of things out there, but it doesn't necessarily. I don't know that AI. My question would be is, Lana, you know what output you're looking for. If you don't know what kind of output you're looking for, it's too easy to say, oh, okay, it gave me that thing, and so I will just, use it as it is. You want to edit, you want to make sure that it is how you actually talk, and that it sounds like a real person. Brian says, don't feel like you need to lower your price just to get rid of it at a show, because there will be someone out there that will pay full price for it. It takes you just as long to make it, no matter what you sell it for. Totally agree. Totally agree. Let's see. Dixie says, Allie, I have made simple jewelry for years now. Then I started doing bead weaving and enjoyed it. I have a big confidence now. I had a bad stroke and still create, but I'm embarrassed to show it online or anywhere in a wheelchair. People don't take you serious. I disagree with you, Dixie. I had a client years ago that she had lost all her teeth and she didn't have dentures yet, and she was terrified to go live. And she finally just did it anyways, and people showed up and they engaged with her. Now I'm not in a wheelchair. I have all my teeth still right now. So, it maybe it's easy for me to say, right? And I totally acknowledge that. But I do not think at all that being in a wheelchair is going to reduce your, I would just talk about it, right? I don't think it at all is going to reduce the engagement you get from people. The people who will like you not in spite of being in a wheelchair, but partially because of it, right? That you have taken this thing that a lot of people would see to be an adversity in your life, and you're following your dreams anyhow. You're not giving up, because that's where a lot of people imagine, like, oh my gosh, if I were in a wheelchair, my life would be over. And you're proven, no, it doesn't have to be. Look at what I'm doing. Like, I'm still enjoying life, and I'm still doing my thing, and I'm still showing up and talking passionately about what I do. And people will follow and love you because of that. People will follow and love you because of that, not in spite of that. Now, does that mean that every conversation should be centered around, your wheelchair? No, it just means don't ignore it. Don't pretend it's not there. Talk about your beading and talk about maybe what you've overcome when you are, what you've overcome from, having a stroke and now being in a wheelchair, but talk mostly about like the beading and stuff, so show them, like, this is how I bead and this is what I learned, and I used to make jewelry, but now I do this beading and I really love this. And, on lives, I talk about show them what you've done, show them what you're working on, and then tell them what you're going to work on. And if you follow that simple formula, you could go live every single week and not have an issue there. I've had people at the farmers market that showed up that were vendors in wheelchairs, never caused a problem. Never caused a problem. I think that is, obviously you've been through this traumatic thing and your life is different than it used to be. People who don't take you seriously are not your ideal customer. Find the ones that do. Find the ones that you do. And when you show up authentically as yourself, you will attract those people to you. Let's see. Brian says, I'm the shark at shows because I know there are other cribbage board makers at them, but I'm the one that only does cribbage boards, and no one makes cribbage boards like I do. That's right. You just got to walk in, shoulders back. I got the best ones. I'm the best one. Dixie says, where or who can I go to build my page? So for if you're looking for a brand new page, honestly, right now, I should have a link to it, and I don't. I do have a video on how to build a page, but honestly, just Google it. It takes less than 5 minutes to build a page. Now, if you want to build a page and, once you've built the page and you're looking at how do you name the page, what do you do, the cover photo, all of that, that's what I show you how to do in Handmade Sellers Club. Linda says, gotcha. Edit the language. Yes. Edit. Dixie said, I used to be the shark, not now. Why would you want to not be the shark now? You're a shark in a wheelchair. You can be a shark in a wheelchair. You can be a shark. You can be the shark. Be the shark anyhow. Like I love what Wayne Dyer used to say is like, he would challenge somebody who's like, what would your life be like if you did X? And they said, well, I can't do X. And he goes, well, I know you can't, but what if you could? Right? All right. I know you're not the shark now, but what if you were? What if you were? What if you were the shark now? What if, despite everything, you're the shark now? And you just choose. Being the shark is just a choice. It's not inherent. It's not inerrant or inherent, I think is the word I'm looking for. It's not inherent. It's a choice. You choose to be the shark. I'm going to choose to be the shark. It was a choice for me. When I made that choice, I'm like, no. I'm going to be the shark, right? I'm not perfect. I don't have there are marketers out there that have skills way beyond mine. That's okay. I'm the shark in my space and what I do. I'm the shark at what I do. I get to define what being the shark is. You get to define what being the shark is for you. And you get to just say, I am the shark. This is why I love the journaling challenge so much. And we talk a lot in the journaling challenge where we're talking about affirmations. And when I journal, I tend to go to affirmations, and I always start with I am the shark. I remind myself. The other one I say, I'm a badass, right? Like, I'm a shark. I'm a badass. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. I got this mug from a friend of mine, world's greatest marketing genius. Am I? To me, I am. There's a lot of marketers that could challenge me for this, but as far as I'm concerned, I am. And when I approach my life as if I'm a marketing genius and I'm the shark and I'm a badass, I do things that I wouldn't do if I said, well, I'm not really as good as other people. And, I'm not the shark that I used to be. I'm not the shark I was when I was 20. I'm a different kind of shark now, right? Like I was a minnow when I was in my 20s. But I don't have the energy I had when I was in my 20s. I'm not staying up till 3 a.m. putting together sales systems like I was in my 20s. I don't have that now, but I'm still the shark, right? I'm just the mama shark. I'm not baby shark. I'm mama shark now. So it just changes and adjusts. You're just a new kind of shark now. Just choose. Just choose to be the shark. It's your choice. Linda says, I generally put things that don't sell and mark them down a couple of pennies. Something costs $10. I mark it down to $9.98. It sometimes helps. Yeah, that can help. Increase the price. Sometimes that sells it too. Pricing it higher sometimes makes it sell faster than pricing it lower. Susan says wheelchair or any disability would not affect whether I like or buy. Exactly. We have somebody that used to be in my program years ago, and she was just in my most recent 5-day challenge. Her son has autism, and he makes soap, and they sell a lot of soap. They sell a lot of soap, and it's all kind of his story, right? And him making soap, and it sells a lot of soap. So whatever is in your head, oh, people don't like this. People aren't okay with people who are like X or like Y. I always say, still show up the best version of yourself. So I'm not a big fan of showing up with, unkept clothes and greasy hair and maybe in your pajama tops, and some people are okay with that. I still try to show up the best version of myself. I try to respect my audience, right? And like, I'm going to at least shower my hair. It's going to be big and poofy but it's at least going to be clean. So that's like standards that I put on myself, and I tend to encourage people that way. You still want to have good lighting, but if you don't have good lighting yet, just start and it'll get better. All right. Everything can get better. Everything can get better. If you're nervous about talking on camera, that can get better. If you don't have good lighting, you can find lighting. If you don't have a good camera, you can get a better camera, but just start where you're at. The other thing I tell my kids is like, the worst you're going to suck is the first time you do it. And so they're nervous about doing something. And I'm like, yeah, you might suck at it because you've never done it before, but then you'll do it again and you'll do it again. And eventually you won't suck. So get through the suck. You just got to get through the suck and get through all of those negative feelings associated with, oh my God, I'm going to suck. And when you get through it, what comes out the other end is just a better version of you and a better version of your business. All right, guys, I planned on an hour. We went an hour 20, but I think that was a fantastic conversation. I'm so very excited about that. I'm going to drop the link again for Handmade Sellers Club. With Handmade Sellers Club, you get my super seller system, which takes you through the entire my entire Facebook, how to sell your products on Facebook system is really what it is when it comes down to it. How to get visible, how to get followers, how to get people to engage with your posts. We talk about you get the Prompts for Profits calendar that tells you what to post to your page every single day. You learn how to use my quick cash method, which is a way to use groups to get big sales. We talk about how to go Facebook Live with confidence and how to host Facebook Live events. We talk about album sales. There's all kinds of different things that you'll learn in the super seller system about selling using Facebook, as well as all of the other benefits you get as a Handmade Sellers Club member. If you want more detail and see everything that's included in Handmade Sellers Club, click the link I just dropped in the comments. You can click that and go watch the trainings and just like do it. Just do it. Just show up and just do it. Just commit to it. Show up, take your business seriously and do it. And you're going to see changes in your business. When you show up with that intention, you're going to see changes in yourself. You're going to see changes in your business. You're going to be playing that mental game. We are here to support you. The entire Handmade Sellers Club community understands what it's like to start and not quite know what you're doing. So we're here to support you. Denise says, thank you, Ellie. You're very welcome. Linda says, thanks for sharing information. You are very welcome as well. Next week, I will be back here talking about I just saw the topic and then I did not keep it in front of me. So give me 1 second and I will tell you the exact name of the thing. Hold on. Why is it not going to that? Hold on. Hold, everybody, hold. It is a workshop that we're doing next week called How to Stand Out in a Crowded Market. So there are a bunch of you that sell products that, everybody and their brother and sister are making. Jewelry comes to mind. But we're going to talk about how you actually stand out in a crowded market so that you're not just blending in with everybody else. The question we want to answer is, if you were set up with 100 other people that sold your exact product, what would make a customer want to buy from you versus everybody else. So we're going to talk about that next week live here, Tuesday at noon Eastern, live in the Facebook page. And then we'll have some Q&A at the end of that workshop as well. And that's it, guys. I'll see you then. Bye.